Police officers, what's the most painful arrest you've ever had to make? I was working a Sunday morning shift when dispatch called in a welfare check at a house on Ridgemont Lane. Neighbor reported screaming and a child crying for over an hour. I pulled up and the house looked normal from outside. Clean yard, bikes on the porch, a minivan in the driveway. I knocked and a woman answered. She was put together, calm, smiling. She said, "Officer, I'm so sorry. My son had a tantrum over breakfast. You know how kids are." I asked if I could come in and she hesitated for just a second before stepping aside. The house was spotless, almost too clean, like someone had scrubbed it in a hurry. A boy around 6 was sitting at the kitchen table eating cereal. He didn't look up when I walked in. I crouched down next to him and said, "Hey buddy, what's your name?" He whispered, "Arlo." I said, "Everything okay this morning, Arlo?" He nodded without lifting his eyes from the bowl. The woman, Denise, stood behind him with her hand on his shoulder. Her fingers were squeezing just enough that I could see the pressure, but not enough that anyone else would notice. I stood up and looked around. Everything checked out on the surface. I told Denise to have a good day and walked back to my cruiser. I sat there for 2 minutes and couldn't start the engine. Something was wrong. The boy didn't look at me once. Not once. Every kid I've ever met on a welfare check either stares at the uniform or asks about the badge. This kid made himself invisible. I called my partner, Wes, and asked him to run the address. He called back and said no prior reports, no history, nothing. He said, "Probably just a tantrum."